Hey guys, Eric here, going to give you 10 tips that may help increase your hair business when we come back. Okay, thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about 10 tips that may help out your hair business. And again, these are just creative things to think out of the box, because nowadays you have to think out of the box. Everybody's trying something different. So if something doesn't work, that's okay. You move on to the next thing. So let's talk about the first tip I want to give you, which is challenge each other, and meaning challenging each other, the people that are working together. So if you're working with somebody, challenge them and vice versa. In other words, if I say to a coworker, by the end of the week, I hope to get 3 new clients. And in the same respect, maybe my other coworker says, well, by the end of the week, I hope to sell 20 products. Challenge each other. And by the end of the week, see who has actually followed through with that. It could be a very interesting thing, because when you're putting out as a goal, and it's sort of a fun little competition with each other, you know, what are you actually doing this week to make things different to help increase your business? So if you're trying to get 3 new clients, at least it's on your mind and it's been verbally said. Just as the other person may say, well, I want to sell at least $20 worth of product. You're putting it out there. So chances are it's on your mind, it's fresh, and hopefully you actually do it. So that's tip number 1, challenge each other in the shop. Number 2, and this is just something kind of creative, maybe put a little bit of tea tree oil in your water bottle, so when you are spraying on the hair, just to kind of, dampen it up a little bit, you've got a little bit of a fresh smell. And tea tree is actually really good anyways for the scalp. So when you're spraying water in the hair and you spray a little bit of tea tree onto the hair, and I mean when you're getting the oil, you only want to use probably like a few drops in your bottle anyway, just enough to kind of really get that scent there as well. Tea tree oil in your water bottle, that could be a really interesting thing to do as something different. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, start a podcast. If you start a podcast, there's many things that you can do with it that will create more awareness about your business. Number 1, if people are interested in the podcast and interested in what you're talking about, they will subscribe to it, right? But what you could do is you could interview people in the industry. You could basically turn those interviews into YouTube videos. You could talk about tips. You could talk about things that people that are using products, like what they should or shouldn't be doing with them. You could be recommending certain products. There's a lot of things you could do with a podcast, but just remember that a podcast is a great way to create authority online. So look into that. If you're looking for something extra, just know that it may take a little time to figure out if you're not used to doing a podcast. There may be a learning curve, but there's plenty of information online about it. So check that out. Number 4, maybe you're slow in the middle of the week. Try a midweek special. So in the middle of the week, let's say Wednesday is your slowest day. Maybe you could, do something with haircuts and say, haircuts today, half off. Haircuts today, 30% off. Whatever you do, just know that if it is a slow week, let maybe certain clients know that are maybe even in the area or really busy, and say, listen, if you come in on a Wednesday, I'll give you 30% off. So that's just a thought, and that's a thought to help make sure that your books are always busy. So that's number 4. Give a special in the middle of the week. Number 5, utilize live platforms. That means Facebook, that means Instagram, that means Periscope. Start utilizing a live platform to show what you're doing. To show what you're doing and to show that you are available. You are a person. Pictures are great, but what we're finding nowadays is video has a lot more pull than pictures do. Pictures are great, but when you do a video, people will click on the video just because they want to see what's going on. There's sort of this interesting interaction there between you and the person that's watching. So make sure that when you are using these platforms that you know what you're going to do, obviously, before you do it, because in some cases, if it's live, it's live. There's no practicing something before you do it. So if you're going to do a haircut, if you're going to talk about a product, make sure that you know where you're going with it. So that's number 5. Use a platform, but use it live. So number 6, this is kind of funny because I learned this from somebody else that I heard about, and this doesn't even go for a hair business. This was I believe a pet store around my area, And what they were doing was, on their Facebook, they were saying to dance for a discount. Now, it sounds funny, and it sounded kind of interesting, but they were getting people to come in, and they were selling things more because they were dancing for a discount, and they were videotaping it as well and throwing it up on their Facebook page. So, kind of funny. You don't have to do something like this. Again, just thinking out of the box. I thought it was an interesting idea. It doesn't have to be dancing for a discount, but it sort of was interesting and worked for what they were doing. So that's number 6. Try something different, maybe for a discount, and make it so that there's interaction there between you and that person, or you and the audience, and the people that are on the outside watching think it's interesting as well. So that's number 6. Number 7, be world famous. Now, sometimes I'll see this on a sign. It'll say, the world famous hamburgers from blah, blah, blah. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are world famous, but I think you'll notice it a lot more when you see commercials, for instance, and it'll say like, the #1 movie in America, or the #1 song of all time. People use these things all the time. So why not use it for your salon and say, one of the top salons in the state of blah, 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 or the top salon in this part of the city, You can say things like that. Just, watch the way that you are using it. But I've noticed it a lot more lately, like, let's say products, the #1 product. We're carrying the #1 product of 2018, and it's, Johnny B's street cream. So people start, kind of listening a little bit more when they hear things like that. Just like when I saw a sign that said world famous, Are they really world famous? I'm not sure. But I guess the point being is, you change the verbiage on something and people start listening and they start thinking differently. So start using things like the best of or the #1. So just an idea, be world famous, be the best. Number 8, join a chamber of commerce. Every city should have one, so look into that. Most of the time you can find out through other people who may already be part of a chamber. Get to know certain groups that are out there that get together in the morning like that. A lot of times certain cities will have them, and you'll be able to talk to people of different businesses, and you may be able to promote yourself as well. Promote your business, promote yourself, either way. So look into the chamber, look into Chamber of Commerce. Number 9, advertise gift certificates for people's birthdays. Maybe somebody's birthday's coming up. And Facebook, it's easy to figure out whose birthday it is. And I've had this happen where a restaurant might say, come on in for a free dessert. Find out when people's birthdays are, send them information, invite them to, maybe come in for something complimentary, but at the same time, if you're on the other end and you're buying for somebody, maybe you could buy them something for in the form of a gift certificate. So it's just an idea that you can sell the idea of a gift certificate or sell the birthday person and the idea of coming in for something complimentary. So there's a lot of things that you could do with this, and the sky is the limit. Last one, number 10. And again, I'm not positive this will work for everybody, but when you find out houses that are sold within your area, it might not be a bad idea to find out the address and do a quick mail out, sort of a mail out as to your business and what it entails, what your shop offers, and maybe invite them in for something as well. It could be something discounted just to actually get them in there. So try to find out what houses are being bought in your area that your shop is in and see if you can do a mail out to those people. But that could be an interesting way to somehow get new business within your area of them just moving in. So hopefully those tips help out. Go to the description box where you'll find out a little bit more information as to how to really crush the business, the hair business, with some tips that I'm going to give you. Other than that, thanks again for watching. See you guys real soon.